Hi, Brian. You're with the Northwest Animal Rights Network, called NARN, acronym for short.
Yeah.
Oh, great, and located here in Seattle, Washington. Well, here we are at the outside the UW in Seattle, and this is Primate Liberation Week. Brian, have you got anything you can think of that would...
So we're here today protesting in this location because it's near the infant primate research program. I don't know that much about it. Most of what I know is in relation to the smoking research they've done, which is fairly redundant research that tells us stuff that we already know from studies on humans, since they're the ones who were smoking to begin with.
I heard that, yeah.
They've done a lot of tests where they basically smoke out animals until they die or until terrible things happen to them, basically.
Oh my God.
They expose them with smoking machines, which themselves are really kind of screwed up devices to use on something, forcing them to inhale smoke. And they do it on infants and on adult animals, and they see what happens, which we already know that they get nasty cancer and all kinds of respiratory problems.
Do you think it has something to do with just because the doctors need to get grants? That's how they make their money.
Oh, and
every year it kind of perpetuates their own research, which is redundant because, yeah, like you say, we already know what tobacco, nicotine does to humans. We've known that for years,
you know,
but
they've got new students coming
research
in here.
Okay,
and
they do.
The thing is, a lot of the guys that are doing it are institutionalized. I mean in the sense of they have become institutions at the university in the research department.
Right.
Not that they're in mental hospitals. Although in some cases I've heard some off things about some of them. But the major thing is that they tout their research as if it's a really big deal, but there's not really that much coming out of this program for all the animals that they torture every year.
So it's money. Bottom line is probably money.
They're trying to preserve their way of earning a living.
You ever seen some of the houses they live in?
Some of them, some of them are genuinely torn about it, but it just decided that it's the lesser of evils to torture animals to help people. That's kind of the position of a lot of vivisectors, because it's nasty business. I don't care who you are, it's going to bother you to do that kind of thing to an animal. And except for maybe some really callous people, it's just gonna, you can't desensitize yourself to that forever without facing some other consequences.
And is there any other animals that they do this research on besides primates here?
Yeah, as far as primates go, they do it on chimps, baboons, and actually they infect a number of primates with infectious diseases like primate HIV and herpes, and ship them off to other places like SNBL, which is in Everett, which incidentally my brother works there as an in animal husbandry.
Wow, really? Wow.
And the place is about a block and a half, well, it's about a mile and a half from where my parents live in Everett, so that's kind of bizarre to me that I wound up getting involved in this. But apart from primates, they also test on gerbils, dogs, rats, mice. I think all of the standard animals like rats and mice.
Just out of curiosity, where do you think they get the dogs from?
I'm not 100% sure. I imagine just a regular breeder. I know, for example, that at Fred Hutchinson they get beagles, and I imagine that they have a breeder of beagles that supplies them.
It wouldn't be like kennels, like King County Kennels or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm not
I hate to
sure.
say Humane Society, but...
I'm not exactly sure of their sources. I imagine that they just buy them, not like... I couldn't say exactly who.
Yeah, I wonder if that would change when they become privatized, like they're thinking of doing. Yeah, something to think about.
It might change somewhat, but obviously Fred Hutch still has their supply, so obviously they have a good, decent source of them. They're reliable.
So, who's this person on your back? You got a monkey on your back, I see.
I got a monkey on my back. Hey Annie, does this monkey have a name?
Yeah, I wanted all of us to name it together.
Actually, I keep calling him a monkey. That's kind of an insult because he's a chimpanzee.
It's a chimp, yeah.
So he's an ape.
That's an ape.
Pretty good. Couple people. I'm a monkey. That's kind of an insult because he's a chimpanzee.
It's a chimp, yeah.
So he's an ape.
That's an ape.
Pretty good. Couple people.